Welcome to the dumbest smart guy podcast on the planet. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Oh yeah, welcome back everybody to your favorite, not serious, probably fucking half stupid podcast about geopolitics.
The most Dunning-Kruger fucking podcast known to man.
The Central Unintelligence Podcast. It's also, our name's also redundant too. Like, so Central, it's your favorite podcast, the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Like, it's not so stupid. We are legitimately idiots. But anyways, today we're gonna talk about. Well, I don't want to say good buddy because we don't fucking know him, but
everybody's a
good buddy. Hamza Bin Laden.
We mean that loosely, and,
Yeah.
when we say loosely, we mean
Not at all.
Not at all.
Oh man. Anyways,
what does that make us?
Yeah, what is that?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Indeed. But anyways, before we get into that, if you want to go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, give us a like, follow, a subscribe. That'd be cool. Also, Game Rage Mag on Twitter if that's more your fucking speed. If you want to follow Adam, you can follow him. Oh, yeah, I'm Josh. He's Adam, if I didn't say that already. But if you want to follow Adam on Instagram and YouTube, at All Gas No Trash Official. And go to substack.com/at All Gas No Trash Official, where you can read a fucking 90,000 foot level, high-end, deep CIA report on analyzing music.
Dude.
By Adam.
Dude, that thing's fucking 9,000 birds.
Shut up, okay? I don't know that.
Whatever.
Anyways, you go there and check that out. Also, go check out All Gas No Trash, the podcast, where we're going to talk about said fucking dissertation that he wrote.
Yeah.
PhD thesis. Anyways, all right. Hamza Bin Laden. Oh, man. Okay. Hamza Bin Laden,
like a fly on a fucking turd, right? Like rubbing his hands.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
He is one of the sons of Osama Bin Laden, right?
How many? So did you find out how many exist to date?
There's like a lot. I think there's like 19 sons or whatever. Like, God
damn it! There's as many Bob Marley's. Bob Marley has as many kids as that.
I don't know if it says what fucking number he is in the fucking lineage.
In the bloodline?
In the this is the real bloodline. The WWE has had it all wrong.
The Bin Laden bloodline.
The Bin Laden bloodline. Hamza is the tribal chief.
Oh shit.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah, I don't know where he's at in the fucking the line or the lineage. But anyway, basically what he did or what he's done is he has essentially become the new leader of Al-Qaeda, and he's taken a much different approach to running Al-Qaeda, much different than his father, right? Where the whole point of Osama Bin Laden's tenure was getting out there and taking credit for shit, right? That's one of the things that terrorist organizations basically over the last 30 or 40 years, that's been their move, is to do some shit and they want everyone to know they did it, right? They want people to know they did it. Well, that's how you get assholes like the CIA crawling up your ass, and that's how you get fucking Predator drones shot right in your dick hole, is by doing shit like that, being out there. Hamza has allegedly taken a more covert approach to running Al-Qaeda. And so one of the things that he has done is he has gotten off of the taking credit train. People really don't even know that Al-Qaeda still fucking exists, right? And there's a reason for that. Reason is because he's been saying, hey, I'm building this little network where essentially what he's doing is he's kind of doing like what the CIA does, is he goes into a place, to like a region, and he's like, hey, you guys are like the terrorist organization or like the government, whatever, running this shit. Hey, we want to make a deal to be like friendly. Like, listen, we'll help you do stuff. We'll get you equipment. I'll get you guys, like whatever, right? Like you have a place, maybe we can go train people. And, essentially in return, we'll let you take all the credit for basically anything, for everything that we do. So you've had Hezbollah, you've had Hamas, you've had all these multitudes of organizations taking credit for a lot of actions that have been plotted and seemingly masterminded essentially by Al-Qaeda and the heads of, Hamza Bin Laden and his homies, essentially. Hamza and the homies, essentially. And so the where it starts kind of is with the attacks that happened in October 7th, right? The ones that went into Israel, that was fucking Hamas. They went in. A lot of those guys, it's kind of like come out, and it's not. Again, the CIA doesn't want this shit out for some reason. The CIA thinks he's dead. Their doctrine is that he's dead, that he's not around. British intelligence says, no, this guy's here. This is what he's been doing. There's a lot of analysts and CIA people, former CIA people, that have come out and like kind of started blowing the whistle, I guess, as you can say, on this type of thing. And the reason for that is because a lot of these people are paranoid and claiming that there is an inevitable homeland attack that's going to happen. And we kind of talked about it a little bit on a past episode, talking about, there's these 1,000 guys that have been sent here, and they're just ready to, like, they're going to commit like terrorist attacks, right? And if you look at essentially how easy it is to get here, if they've been over there and they've been part of all these little organizations, right? He's been making deals with all the little governments. When Afghanistan, when we pulled out, he was living in like fucking Pakistan, right? And so then he was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna move back into fucking Afghanistan. Supposedly he's back in there and he's kind of like running shit. He's friends with the Taliban. He's like, hey man, the deal they have again is like, you help us out, I'll help you out. It's like diplomatic things that he's doing, which is very it's not common for terrorist organizations to utilize diplomacy in the way they operate. And so that's kind of what he's been doing, is he's been making all these diplomatic agreements with all the other Middle Eastern terrorist organizations and the governments of said Middle Eastern countries, and just kind of been like, hey, listen, this is kind of what it is. Again, for the terrorist organizations, he's like, hey man, I don't want credit for any of this shit. You guys go ahead and you have all the credit. We're just going to kind of stay back here in the shadows. And they're kind of like just kind of pulling the strings a little bit from afar. And so the theory being presented is that there's been these 1,000 guys that they've trained up, that they know for sure. They know for sure these dudes got trained, and they know for sure that they sent them over to America. Now, once they kind of got over into they left the Middle East, they tracked them sort of to like North America, but that's it. Like that, then they're out. And so one of the things that that's what they did. They disappeared. And so I don't know if you saw this, but something that kind of lends a little credence to this is they just uncovered like this massive tunnel that was built going from like whatever's the city across from El Paso that's in Texas, right? That the one that's across it, just over the border. I don't know what the fucking city is, but there was this massive tunnel that was built like under some fucking house, and they built it all the way under into El Paso, and it came up into like some fucking house. And this supposedly had been in use for like years. And that's a real easy way to get people undetected across like a border, right? Like if you wanted to smuggle in terrorists so they don't have to go through the checkpoints and, do all the background shit, and then you don't even got to risk them getting caught by going across the border, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's a smart way to do it. I mean, they found this fucking thing, and it's real. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, that'd be great. I'd say that if I was a terrorist, that's what I'd do. Also, in relation to these fires and stuff, people have been throwing videos, and again, I'm not saying this is part of it, but it's it was very strange the way they all started, and people start throwing out all these videos of dudes fucking supposedly lighting shit on fire, and it's just like, okay, sure, if I was a terrorist, that would be a great thing. If you're assigned to, if your terror zone is California, man, wildfires would be a great thing to fucking do. You start setting fires, and then once you set all these fires, all of the major resources, medical, police, all that shit is going to that location, right? And it kind of leaves the rest of the areas sort of vulnerable or left open. And so I don't know if you saw this story, but what just happened last night is in Tustin at the National Guard Armory, a group of individuals broke in and they stole 3 Humvees. They stole one that was up armored. They stole 2 that were just like the soft cloth, like Humvees. They also stole 8 machine gun mounts to mount machine guns onto the vehicles, right? They stole the mounts for them. They stole a bunch of binoculars, which, whatever, that's not really that big of a deal. And they were trying, one of the things that they said they were trying to steal, but something happened and they couldn't get the lockers open. They were trying to steal uniforms. And so if you're a terrorist, right, and let's just say, like, oh, there's this major thing happening over here, who's going there? The National Guard is there. So if you roll up, everybody's wearing fucking masks and shit because of the smoke. You roll up, and a lot of times they'll, oh yeah, fucking just go over here because you're in a government vehicle, you're wearing a uniform. A lot of people ain't gonna question you. And those National Guard vehicles that are over there, yeah, some of them have the machine guns mounted on the top. So, like, if you roll up looking like whoever, and then you're like, all right, cool, you're a terrorist, you're in, and you just start lighting up the area, right? You start lighting up all the first responders, or you go to another area that's like, you know that there ain't as many first responders there. You target that, put as many civilian casualties as you can, keep it going. And one of the things that changed the tactics, which I did talk a little bit about, was that 2015 attack in Mumbai, right? Where they, or not Mumbai, Mumbai and like in India, that area. And when they were doing all those attacks over there, that changed the game for strategy for terrorism. Because when they put them in these little cells, now they've got, like, they found it for sure. There was like these guys that were the attack team, and then there was these like 2 or 3 people that were left behind to be like the, you know, kind of like the moderators or like the intel people that would literally sit there and they'd watch the news and they'd be communicating with them live saying, hey, the cops are doing this, the cops are staging here, they're going this direction, they're doing this, they're doing that. So they could have essentially evade the people that were trying to stop them from, you know, in this terrorist attack, to stop the attack. They could just evade them and essentially make the attack last longer. And so you've got these guys that are no longer, you know, oh, we're just going to go fucking suicide bomb and that's it. These guys are like this fucking fight to the death mentality where they're going to go out there and they're going to kill as many people as they can before they themselves end up getting killed, right? So it's this new generation or new wave of Al-Qaeda and shit. And I kind of have, I kind of think that this might be very plausible. I don't know. I have no insider information that tells me that these things are for sure going to happen. But as someone who's an outside casual observer, I look at that stuff and go, man, if I was a terrorist, this is sure how I would do it. Because it's smart. It's a good way to do it. And if you've got these events like, you know, again, if you got 1,000 guys or whatever that you've sent here, you know, you essentially have what? You divide that by, well, fuck, we maybe don't even need to count Alaska and Hawaii, but let's do the lower 48, all right? Let's just do the continental 48. You divide that by 48 and you've got, I mean, shit, over 100 guys that you could put in each state. Put some in the capital. I mean, shit, maybe you even send some like Montana or Idaho probably doesn't need the whole lot of them, right? So you send those guys to places like California and New York, the major population centers, so you can have more dudes doing shit there. And you just wait and you sit around and you say, all right, guys, when shit in LA and New York pops off, everybody else starts doing their shit. That's like their plan or whatever, right? That's what I do. And you could shut the fucking country down real fucking quick if you did some shit like that. You look at the DC shooter, that guy wasn't like Al-Qaeda or nothing like that, but that was a dude with a rifle. Basically shut down the whole DC fucking metro area for weeks. Just because he was going around like shooting people with a sniper rifle. And that was one dude, all right? That was one guy.
When was that?
You remember the DC sniper guy?
No, I don't remember that.
God, I think that was in like 2010. Let me just Google it because DC sniper attacks.
I don't remember any of that shit.
That shit, man. That was back in 2002. Yeah, lasted for 6 months, starting in February 2002. And they just went around and started just like, it was this dude and his kid, and they just went around and just started fucking shooting people in the DC fucking metro area. And
it probably doesn't ring a bell because that's probably just, you know,
Washington. 9/11. It was the year after 9/11.
Well, I was going to say it's just Washington, D.C. in general.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, so that right there shut down. They shut down that whole area for. I mean, it was months. Like it'd be like weeks after each attack because they would wait. They'd do one and then they'd wait and then once they got away clean for doing one, and then they'd be like, okay, cool. They'd like wait a couple weeks and it would still be shut down. And then once shit would start to open up again, they'd do another one. And like that's just 2 guys doing that. Just imagine if you had 1,000.
This is how you reboot the lone gunman.
Yeah. Dude, right? Because, I mean, they predict 9/11. Now they'll predict the new 9/11.
Oh, no, I just mean in general about, like...
the show?
Yeah, I mean, I know the guys died in the fucking show, but to have people that are so invested into things like this, looking into people on the most wanted list and watching them from online articles or things that are written about them.
Yeah.
That should be the fucking... If there was a reboot of fucking The Lone Gunman, it's just people online on a Discord server that are gathering resources and then reporting these people to the fucking CIA. And if they don't get an answer back, they just fucking...
They go out themselves and do it?
Yeah, they go do it.
Fuck, you don't even reboot it that way. You just make a whole new show, and that's what the premise is. You fucking call it like... I don't know. So, I don't know, some spin-off of The Lone Gunman. You play with the name or whatever. That'd be cool.
You know,
that's a good story.
You know, I'm thinking now this whole situation. I know this isn't about. It's not related to the other episode we did of what was it, CUP, or is this CUP or
was CUP? Yeah.
Okay, the other episode about the fires and shit. But if I'm not mistaken, man, the book War and Peace is about the people making the most impact on literally like any historical event, right? It's not the kings or queens and shit like that. So it's like now it seems like that more than ever, where the government can't be trusted. Clearly there's incompetence going on with these fires, and if there's another major terrorist attack within the United States, fuck, man, like why have any faith that the government is competent enough to I guess counter terrorists or what, counter strike to subdue these terrorists, right? So it's like going back to the thing about War and Peace, about how like regular everyday people dictate what happens to, you know, large historical events and shit, that maybe I don't know. Maybe more of us decide to take shit into our own hands, and we have. Well, I don't know. Maybe we devolve into like the Middle East, and we just have warring tribes in the U.S. and
warlords and shit.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe,
but I don't know. It's just interesting to think about people that are so resourceful that could. I mean, there's white hat hackers that exist, or even black hat hackers like Anonymous that were trying to leak information about people that were problematic or whatever. It's like, man, imagine if they just decided, imagine if there's multiple groups of people that are just like, we don't want bad shit to happen in general for humanity, and then they do something about it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Very plausible. Could very well happen. I mean, true story. So I don't know. Anyways, that was pretty much it. So just, you know, who knows what'll happen? As I always say, the catchphrase. Who knows? We'll see.
This Hamza
Bin Laden,
Bin Laden fella, because Osama Bin Laden was Saudi Arabian, wasn't he?
Yeah, correct.
So he's talking to all these people that would, if he's all right, because I don't remember all of them, dude. I don't remember all. Taliban is Afghanistan. Yes, Al Qaeda is Syrian, right?
So Al Qaeda is not, they're a terrorist organization.
Yes.
That was kind of like involved in like Afghanistan was where they kind of started. Afghanistan, like Pakistan, that whole kind of area.
Yes.
And then you got like ISIS. And then you got ISIS-K. And then you've got fucking like 18 other fucking different versions of this shit. So they like combine into one, and then they like have little offshoots. It's like, it's so fucking insanely hard to keep track of all this shit.
It's NWO red and NWO white.
Yeah. Al Qaeda blue, Al Qaeda yellow, Al Qaeda black and white.
LWO.
Yeah. You've got the Syrian world order. You've got fucking, they're it's like very convoluted. But see, that's what's different about And that's why they've never been effective. Is because they've never had anyone kind of like
corralling them.
And that's sort of what he's doing. He's hurting all the cats of like the fucking terrorist organizations, and he's just making deals. He's making diplomatic deals with them.
I don't think it's enough though, because it's like I think those people are still prejudiced against one another. Saudi Arabians don't like Iranians. Correct. I know that's not directly tied, but that those lines in the sand still exist.
Right, they do. But the one line in the sand that they all fucking agree on is they hate the Jews and they hate the Americans. All right, those are the two lines that they can all agree on. And I think that's probably the tactic he's using.
It's like, that's good enough for us.
Yeah, he's like, listen, guys, I know we got our own problems, right? But listen, first off, let's kick out the Americans from the Middle East. Okay, they kind of have a little bit done that pretty much. It's kind of been done already. Not fully, but it's, whatever. They're doing it still, or they're trying. Let's get them majority out of the Middle East. Then let's get the Jews. And while this is going on, let's go after America for fucking up our shit for the last 20 years.
All right, hold on. But then, because they have this whole thing in Syria going on with the civil war, the civil unrest, and they have this new group in order. I'm sure they wanted get cozy up to this group, or
I'm sure they have been, because that group also is supposedly they're like the CIA. They're the American friendly group. But who knows if they're just bullshitting around
and they just got what they wanted in it.
Because that's what the Taliban was buddies with us back when the Russians were invading them.
Yeah.
And then look what happened. And they became our enemy. So who knows where their fucking allegiance really lies? It's probably, if they have some deal with Hamza Bin Laden and they're like, cool, we'll just pretend to be friends with the Americans and get some equipment. Fuck. They're using all of our stolen equipment from Afghanistan anyway.
They don't even say anything. They're like, hey, it's all hush hush. Like, we have an arrangement when you guys get U.S. hardware on fucking, who the fuck knows what they end up getting, but they're like, we get a cut of that.
Yeah, you guys pass some of that shit on to us so we can use it. And that very well could be. I mean, that would make sense.
How are they getting the funding for this? So is he part of, would you say he's part of Al-Qaeda or Taliban?
It's Al-Qaeda is the terrorist group that he's like kind of.
Where do they get their funding?
So Afghanistan, right? Afghanistan, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure it still is. They're the number one producer of opium in the world.
Oh, okay, got you. So
that was one of the big
opioids.
Things. Yeah, that's one. There's a lot of books that have been about it. That's one of the big things that they talk about. Is Afghanistan has lithium deposits now that they found a shit ton of lithium, and it's the world's number one supplier of fucking opiates or raw opium. And they go and everybody was talking shit about like, oh, how come Afghanistan's fucking have no food? They have all these farmers and all this shit. And so they got this guy, and he's like a farmer, and they go want to go talk to him or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I try to grow food, and the Americans basically tell me like I can't. They say I need to keep growing these fucking poppies, this opium plant.
Yeah.
And that's what they keep doing. That's how Al-Qaeda has, I'm sure, a shit ton of those fucking farms that they're running, that they're just growing opium and selling the raw materials to whoever.
To the U.S.
cartels, to China. I mean, who the fuck knows? But that's mainly how they're staying funded is through the drug trade. And then, they sell guns and shit to each, amongst each other, or to like other like African nations and shit. Like they'll sell weapons because they can. So it's arms and guns, man. That's how, or arms and drugs. That's how they're fucking doing it.
Well, I mean, shit. If there's a mandate to have, I don't think it's going to happen, but to have fucking no gas powered car. Well, it's not no gas powered cars, but basically people need to have EVs by 2035. It's like, oh man, wouldn't it be funny if like the next 10 years we go to war with Afghanistan to extract lithium?
Or Iran, or we go to, that supposedly was the reason why we've been there for the last 20 years. Is because the lithium is used, it's in laptop battery, it's in every battery you need.
EV batteries,
like all these fucking places, right? That's why I think we couldn't get all of it, and so we were just like, fuck it. And now that's why China's been talking and buddying up with the Taliban. There's supposedly a lot of Chinese military assets in Afghanistan now harvesting said lithium or things of that nature. And they're probably getting money from fucking other governments too. Al Qaeda gets probably paid by. They're an enemy of America. I'm sure the Chinese and the Russians are fucking throwing them money under the table. Why wouldn't you? I mean, I'm sure we fund all of their fucking internal organizations in Russia and fucking China. I'm sure we give them money and shit. So, of course, they're doing it to us. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. So, anyways, you got anything else? Anything else you can think of?
Well, no, I mean, dude, it's so hard to keep track of terrorist organizations and from what origins.
Yeah, it is.
It's too much.
It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe on crack. Like there's so much shit going on over here and over there.
I'm assembling a team.
Yeah, essentially. Hamza Bin Laden, the Tony Stark of fucking. I don't know. Maybe he's the fucking what's his name? The Samuel L. Jackson character.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, maybe he's the Nick Fury of fucking.
I'm assembling a team.
Yeah, I'm putting together a team. I wonder who. Man, that'd be funny to do. We should do a absolute cinema episode of assembling the terrorist version of the Avengers. Like crossover.
We should do a fucking episode of miscasting the Avengers movie and just picking the worst people.
Oh, you know what? That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the next episode we do. That's a good idea. Anyways, all right. Well, that'll be the end of it. Go to Game Rage Magazine on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can also go to Twitter, Game Rage Mag. Follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official. Check out that on Instagram and YouTube. Substack.com/ at All Gas No Trash Official. All right, that's it for us. Catch you guys on the next one.
That was the latest episode of the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. We're also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com.